What is going on, guys? Politics Gaming here, and today, oh man, that's a good intro. Today we are going to be talking about the Great Recession 2.0? Question mark. Obviously, don't be stupid. And we are also going to be talking about the presidential elections and just any topic that is going to be coming up. I am going to be joined today by Resistheswamp Gaming and Baxstar 12. They will be joining me today just to kind of discuss things. Baxstar is pretty knowledgeable about the economy. That's why I like to have him in on stuff about the economy. And then Resistheswamp Gaming is someone who I've been planning to collab with. So this is going to be somewhat of our first collab. So without further ado, I am actually going to be going back and I'm going to talk to them and see that they're doing well, and then we're going to get off on our conversation. Alright, now, guys, I'm live, so go ahead and introduce yourselves. Baxstar, you go first.
You know who I am. Next.
Everyone knows who Baxstar is. Resistheswamp, how about you?
How's it going, guys? This is David here from Resist the Swamp. That's all I've got to say for it.
Alright, that was a shitty intro. Anyway, so again, guys, today we are going to be talking about a possibility of a new recession coming along on the 5 greatest economies in the world, and the Dow, obviously, if you guys haven't heard about that. And then we are also going to be talking about new election polls that have come out in response to some of the Democratic debates, some of the stuff that's been going on in the Democratic Party, and the new poll, which shows Biden ahead by single digits. But Baxstar, I'm actually going to go ahead and let you start off, since you're more knowledgeable on the economy. So what are your thoughts on what's going on right now?
Okay, we have a 5-gallon bucket, and ever since about 2015, we've just been putting more water in there. Now fast forward about 4 years later, the bottom of the bucket done fucking fell out. Okay, folks, we're bound for a recession, and it's going to happen either if Trump gets reelected, I take it to the bank, we're going to have a recession in Trump's second term, if not sooner, because when you economy go, this is the economic cycle. Who left? Oh, the economy go up, 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 and then it just go down, and up, 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 down. It's a cycle. The Dow Jones or the stock market falling, 800 points.
Yeah, 800 basically.
I mean, I don't know what's the bond market saying about recession. I don't know too much about the bond market, but
Yeah, I don't understand that either.
but what I've noticed is that when unemployment start rising rapidly, and when growth starts falling rapidly, and then we're heading into a recession. Right now, I mean, we may, according to the bond market, again, I'm not an expert in the bond market. Um, I don't know if you want to say recession, okay, but this the market is going to readjust itself, because that's just what the fuck happens. But I think resist the swamp left.
Yeah, I just noticed that too. I don't know.
But
I'm gonna kick his ass. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do more research on what it's, because it's talking about like yield curve inversions, stuff like that, smart people things
I
that,
don't know. I
like,
don't
they
know.
say, oh yeah, well, I'm the only ones who like understand this. um Let me look. Yeah, I literally don't understand any of this. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's kind of like a spook that the Federal Reserve's trying to pull on us, because like the president keeps attacking the Federal Reserve, which is probably what you should never do as a president. And Resistheswamp's back, by the way. Um, it's just kind of, it's really so weird.
I think Trump. I don't think Trump understands economics very much. Yeah.
Can I, Baxstar? Can I ask you what you think on the trade war with China?
Um,
I
I
just,
think
more
I think
specifically, I
I think that's pretty much the damn fucking reason why the market's been doing this is because of that fucking shit with China. And that's the reason why I took closed all of my positions back in October because I knew the shit was finna fucking hit the fucking fan. I think the trade war. I think I'm on the wall whether or not I agree with Trump's tariffs because yeah, China's been ripping us off, but these tariffs, this his actions is also affecting um
the consumers.
the not only the consumer but the soybean farmers. You know, they because our largest export to China is soybeans. And when China put that tax, it's killing them. It's hurting their
Yeah, I think I
business.
heard. I think I heard that Trump actually had to give them financial assistance to help make up for the damage that was done by the tariffs slapped on them by China.
Yeah. And I just think that it's I just think that this trade war is the reason why the market is doing this.
PG, what do you think? Do you agree, disagree? I disagree personally with the tariffs. I don't think they're helping us.
I think I kind of agree. It's kind of a risk because obviously it's going to start leading to price increases
Oh, now
because
you
of
said
everything. But I kind of think that it's basically like a giant middle finger to China, to the European Union, to um, a lot of these countries out there that basically have been taking advantage of us over the past couple of years. And we're basically saying you can either keep going and then we're going to tariff you, or you can stop and then we can just have something closer to a free trade agreement. Like that's the reason that like we've had negotiations with the European Union, that the European Union even backed down whenever we were about to have a trade war with them. And we made an agreement with them. We've had several agreements with China where the Chinese have been the ones to back off and say, okay, we're gonna screw with you. We're gonna devalue our currency. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. And devaluing their currency, especially for some reason, China has a huge influence over the currency market. So, in response, either we can allow them to keep devaluing their currency, or we can put tariffs on them to tell them to stop. It's basically just kind of trying to tell them to stop because we have enough influence over over their markets that we can say stop it. That's basically what it's doing. And I kind of agree with it. If it launches us into a recession, then we can just use it as a precedent to not do it again. And I know that's kind of saying, well, you're basically like putting millions and millions of jobs at risk. I understand that, but if someone is, and Philip, you haven't missed anything. If you're doing a lot of things and you want someone to stop, you're going to do everything you can to make them stop. If your kids are screwing around in your like kitchen cabinets, like you want them to stop. So whenever the Chinese are going to sit there, devalue their currency, they're going to do this, they're going to do that, we have a right to tell them, or at least try to make them stop. So that's why I kind of agree with
what I
them.
got to say about China.
It's kind of ranting there. I should have shut up like 2 minutes ago.
China. Listen, fuck China.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And fuck Russia.
See, that's why I think that is that
My
like the
foreign
Chinese
policy
have
is
just
simple.
been.
See, they need to let me be president for about a damn year. My foreign policy is this: don't fuck with me, cause I ain't in the mood. Okay. Fuck out of here with that.
Baxstar, I don't think I would ever want you to be anywhere near the nuclear arsenal.
I wouldn't launch the nuclear weapon bomb.
It's kind of like Omni said something in the chat. So giving a middle finger to foreigners is worth harming the American consumer and American farmers. So because the Chinese have been screwing us over, we're going to screw ourselves over more. Again, it's in response to what I was saying a minute ago. Again, it's basically, if it does launch us into a recession, it's kind of worth the risk as long as it doesn't launch us into a recession. Again, we can use it as a precedent in the future, but right now it has not been doing anything. We've been having steady growth,
just like to say that
steady job increases.
A while ago, if we actually got something done, but like this trade war has been going on for like how long now? A year, maybe 2 years now, and it hasn't.
Not even 2 years.
Many I don't know exactly how long off the top of my head.
Recession is worth it because of the lesson.
Quite a while, and we haven't really gotten many concessions out of the Chinese. I mean, if anything, we've ended up having to spend money on farmers to help them pay for the cost that was dealt to them because of the tariffs placed on China.
Why don't we just make our own shit in America? Why the fuck
I agree, but then you have to get the companies to get back to the
Look here,
US.
you either come back to America or I'm gonna tax your ass 95%.
I agree, and I thought that would have been Trump's approach. I thought he would have put punishments on companies for building in other countries because he had such an America First attitude during the campaign, but that's not what he did.
His suits is made in China.
Yeah, I just saw a bunch of pictures of his Trump 2020 campaign banners being made in a Chinese factory.
Oh my fucking God. He can't even make his own signs in America.
Yeah, it's kind of pathetic. What happened to America First?
You know, it's like, you gotta understand. What is this?
I'm just pulling it off of my banner.
I just think
Hey Xenox, welcome to the live stream.
Who's that?
All his stuff is made in America.
It's made in China. His ties, his hats, his suits, everything. Go look up Trump's ties. They made
Ivanka's
in America.
stuff is made in Vietnam also.
He retracted his. He redacted the hell out of here. His shit made in China. There ain't no knock. I ain't trying to hear that. But
those are not knockoffs at all. I don't know what the hell this guy's talking about.
Dude,
he's in denial.
He was on somebody's show, and he pulled the tie out. It said, "This is made in China." And Trump just like, "Oh, I didn't know that." Ivanka's stuff is made in China. Who the hell? Okay, I don't even know who would buy Ivanka Trump's clothing, or whatever the fuck she said.
Seriously,
like who? Like, come on! I'd rather go to Walmart.
Yeah, I mean, my "Make America Great Again" hat was made in the USA.
Man, where's my?
I was literally in the city recently. Actually, I forgot about this. I'm glad that you brought up the MAGA hat. I saw a MAGA hat in the city recently, and it said "Made in China."
So where did you see it? Was it from the website? If you're ordering from the website, it's gonna be made in America. If you're ordering from anywhere else, it's probably gonna be made from China.
How much does a MAGA hat cost anyway?
$25. Whenever I bought it.
You spent $25 on a fucking hat?
Could kiss my ass for $25.
They got a MAGA hat at Walmart.
Pay me $25 to get a MAGA hat.
They got a MAGA hat at Walmart.
Yeah, okay, if they're selling it at any other retailer, it's gonna be it's probably gonna be made in China.
Bro, you spent $25 on a fucking hat?
Seriously, dude. You could have made a $25 donation to his campaign, and it would.
That is a donation to his campaign.
Man, I ain't spending $25.
Yeah, but he's got to pay to make a hat.
Then I seen on here one day they was selling bricks for $20. Talking about
yeah, $25 is how much the hat is.
We need money for the wall. I ain't going to no rally to get
Fuck
no.
the wall. We should just get more immigration judges. That way they could deal with the
Or we
asylum
or we could do this.
claims
Or
quicker,
we could do
and
this.
you could either deport or
See, hold on.
accept it
See,
and
hold
let them
on.
in
Hold,
legally.
or we could. I got a much simpler thing.
It'd be quicker.
I got a much simpler thing. You want to seek asylum? Go to our embassy in whatever the fuck country you at, and do that there. Don't come to up. Why? First off, why? Like I understand the journey, but I'm pretty sure we have an embassy or we have something with an American flag on it down
Mm-hmm.
there.
Yeah, and they
And
don't, but they don't want to do that, you know.
either they, I mean, I do they not know that they could go to the embassy and do this the
Either
same
it's
thing?
not communicated or they just don't care.
So
I
it's
think it's
simple.
just easier to come here and seek asylum there.
The Guatemala, they signed an agreement with Guatemala, that basically says that you can go to any consulate, American consulate in Guatemala, and you can file for asylum instead of just
I don't under, I
walking
don't
toward the
understand how
border.
it would be.
That happened recently, right?
Yes, it
See,
happened
and
like
see,
2 weeks ago.
and see, another thing is that with so many people coming, where are we going to put all of these folks? Because the Democrats,
I don't
they're,
like the conditions of the camps, but that's all we got. Unless you,
I
literally,
mean,
unless you want them roaming free with
no,
no
you don't have
vetting,
them
no
roaming.
nothing.
You don't
Like,
have them roaming free.
The
Okay,
camps are pretty messed up. I think they could have better conditions than the camps that they
okay.
currently have
Get them
right
some
now.
damn MREs. I'm not saying you need to take them to fucking McDonald's. You can give them some MREs, some water, and the basic human needs. Shit, toilet paper, place where they can
Which
go
in some
shower.
cases it's
You
it's
know,
it
baby
seems like they're
wipes for
not.
the little kids. You know what I'm talking about? Let's get real here, folks. Just
wouldn't it be cheaper to let them go on an ankle monitor?
who said that?
Omnihooks.
Isn't that a 13-year-old?
I don't know.
Who the listen to bullshit. He don't know shit. Next,
23,
anyway,
not 13.
huh?
Like the thing is that
23, not 13.
I don't know if um the whole thing is just kind of fucked. Like if we're basically saying um
All these people, because we have so many people coming, we don't have enough judges
we
and
want better
immigration.
conditions in the
Well, we could
camps.
hire more judges.
Yeah, okay, so we
We
can
don't
do
have
that, but the
judges, but
people are still going to be sitting around in the camps. So
That's what I'm
this
saying.
the thing is that like the Customs and Border Patrol is barely getting funding because um
well, what's
they're
their
all
how
sitting
much are
there.
they
Well,
getting?
hold on, wait a minute. Xenox asked a question. He said, "Why do you think recession will hit?" Well, because our economy's been booming since like 2000, what 14, 15. Our economy's been going up, so it's bound to happen. It, now you can continue with your discussion about the fucked up immigrant. Our whole immigrant, like our whole immigration code is just fucked up in America because you got a lot of you don't understand that there's also a whole other side to illegal immigration. Okay, they estimate there's a 12 million people here illegally. Okay, if you really think about it, probably half of the quote unquote 12 million illegal immigrants are from that cross the southern border.
Hey, what's going on,
The
Red
other,
Eagle? Hell yeah, my boy Red Eagle's in here.
the other economy, the other 5 6 million is people that come here legally on a uh 12 to 30 million. Either way, whatever the number is, half is of people who come here on a visa and don't go to fuck home when a visa up, and the other half just comes to the southern border. And the Obama's economy plunged to 1,000. You understand that when Obama took office in 2009, the economy was
Yeah, seriously.
falling. Like, I don't see. That's another thing. Everyone, oh my God, Obama plunged the economy. Obama didn't plunge it. Bush plunged the economy. Bush was
And
president
those
when the
same and those same people are the same ones that in the first like 6 months of the Trump administration were saying, "Oh, Trump's economy is flourishing. He's already doing wonderful things for the economy."
when did the economy plunge in 2015? I think
It
I
didn't. What is this guy
hold on.
talking about?
I think I know what he's talking about. I think I know what he's talking about.
Let me look.
You gotta also understand about the stock market. Okay, the thing about the stock market is the stock market will go up and then it will recorrect itself. I don't know what world event was going on in 2015.
There was a lot going on in
It's probably fucking
2015.
North Korea as usual.
Russia. That's whenever we started like sanctioning the
refugee
shit out of
crisis.
Russia.
We
The
sanctioned
refugee
Russia in
crisis
2014.
also was pretty bad in 2014, 2015.
Let me see what the GDP growth rate was in 2015.
It was probably like 2%. Yeah, Obama did. He did add a lot of debt, and
It
that
was
was
like
because
3.5%.
he added a lot of debt because of his
Trump's
Oh,
tax cuts have
stimulus
increased the
package.
deficit by what is it, almost $1 trillion, I believe. I
It's
could
at
be
a
wrong
trillion.
with my number.
It's at a trillion. It's at a trillion.
U.S. debt clock says that the federal deficit
okay,
right now
so-
is $993 billion.
Nigga, what? Wait a whoa, 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 whoa.
God, they
What?
like
Okay, why,
renewed this thing.
It says official and an actual.
Yeah.
Y'all motherfuckers pissing me the fuck off.
So
Because-
actual deficit is 1.16 trillion.
Okay, so officially it's not okay. So by the end of the fucking year, it's gonna be at 1 trillion. It's gonna be over $1 trillion.
Yeah.
At the end of the year,
It's gonna be like 1.1,
by
1.2.
Christmas 2019. Hell, by Thanksgiving of 2019, the U.S. deficit will officially hit $1 trillion. Next.
Let's go.
Next. Oh,
If you actually care about the debt and deficits, you would be out there fighting Trump, not some former president.
that's another thing. Why do people why does and Obama did this? I never understood. You're president. Why are you talking about what the previous fuck that motherfucker? He gone.
Hey.
They gone. They
Don't
like
be
when
saying
Obama
that word
first-
around here.
When Obama first took office, Bush this, Bush that, Bush. I'm
He
like,
has the
George,
card, PG.
Shut up. He doesn't. I don't care if he has the card. He can't say it on my
Bush
street.
this, Bush that, Bush. I'm like, Bush, that motherfucker. He in his branch. Who you should be talking about is Cheney, because we all know Dick Cheney was running the fucking White House at that time, but that's a different story for a different day. Yeah, our economy is going into the fucking toilet. Next.
It says we're spending $85 billion in classified programs.
The fuck is it? That's what I'm talking about.
What do you mean, like
It says
classified Pentagon
National
program?
Intelligence Program and then Military Intelligence Program that encompasses several agencies and programs. Hey, what's going on,
And
Tripster?
what's the defense budget in total? Like about like 700, 800 billion.
Say what now?
Tripster says this is the longest expansion on record.
Yeah, fuck him. Next.
We're due for a recession in 2016.
And that just means that it's so much more likely to happen in the near future.
Does everybody remember when the IRS made that dance video with taxpayer dollars and everyone went shit crazy?
Isn't it sad that we're supposed to have a recession every 10 years?
No.
You think that's like something to do with the the Federal Reserve? They're always trying to smack us into a recession every 20 years.
Look here.
10, 20 years.
I don't think that'd be the
see,
Federal
there's some
Reserve.
things
Maybe
I
it
don't
would just
talk
be
about.
all the
there's some things I don't talk about. Religion, the Federal Reserve, the Illuminati, uh, and the CIA. I don't talk about them. But let me tell you, look,
Yeah, neither do I, but I mean,
look.
Federal Reserve is kind of
See,
like,
here's the problem with people when they're in the stock market. Like, people don't understand that that's and see, what the fuck am I trying? I'm trying to do five things at once. The problem with this, with a lot of people is when they saw the stock market tumbling at 10 o'clock this morning, they said, "Oh my God, let me call my broker. I need to sell, 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 sell." So all day it was like sell, 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 sell. That's all people. That's why the market went whoop. So the market going south, I'm not going to say, "Oh, it's going to be a recession." Uh,
but I mean, that's kind of sad that you like, but the way both of y'all were talking, and like some of the people in my chat, they were literally saying, "Well, we're overdue for a recession. We're supposed to be having a recession. We were supposed to have a recession back in 2016." Well, I mean, Tripster said Australia hasn't had a recession in nearly 30 years.
Oh, this ain't fucking Australia. This is the United States of America.
Yeah, but shouldn't why does anything, especially I think I've heard this from the Federal Reserve, that they're sitting there saying, yeah, we're supposed to be having recessions every 10, 15 years.
I don't know.
That's fucking stupid. Why should we be overdue for a recession?
I don't know.
That makes no sense at all, economically or morally.
It's the cycle. It's the economic cycle.
It's a cycle that Tripster, by the way, send me the link to the story. You can't post links in my stream.
Why not?
I don't know how to change it. But it doesn't matter if it's a cycle. If it's a cycle, then that's fucking sad.
Dude, I mean, I don't know how to explain it. Other than it's the cycle, it's the economic cycle. And everyone is taught this in civics and economics. So I think that I've never said we're overdue for a recession. I've just been saying I just think we're gonna have a recession within the next like 2-3 years. And that's pretty much what a lot of people on Wall Street, not Wall, but them motherfucking economists, that's what they've been saying. But
let me see what Tripster sent me.
But I just don't understand. Trump get up here. Obama this, Obama raise the debt. Everyone talks about the debt, the deficit. The deficit in 2016 was what? Can I go back? Yeah. Deficit in 2016 was $556 billion. The deficit now is pushing $1 trillion.
Yeah.
Quick question, Tripster, did you write this? Did you write this article, by the way? I'm just asking.
This is a little off topic for a second, but Baxstar, I was hoping you could share your opinion on Cory Booker.
Oh, fuck him, that faggot. Fuck that faggot. He ain't nothing but a damn faggot.
He's trying to figure out how many Hot Pockets he can put in the oven.
Man, fuck that nigga. He's old.
Hey! Beep!
It's okay. Baxstar has the card.
I don't care. I don't want that on my stream. I don't care about any other word.
It's okay. You can get a temporary card so that it can be allowed on your.
Trevor Noah's gonna kick my ass again.
Fuck Trevor Noah. He can send him back to South next. Cory Booker. I don't even know why he's running for president. Like, he's just trying to be Obama. Okay, you look at him in the polls. He's 2% in the fucking polls. The highest he polled was 6%, and that was in what, February, March, and ever since then he's been hovering at about 2-3%. Nobody fucking paying attention to Cory Booker. He don't even know why he even think about running for president. He's a damn goofball.
You a goofball.
Beto is a fool. Beto ain't.
I love Beto.
Beto O'Rourke, he over here talking
Wait,
about.
why do you? Aren't you a
Trump,
Republican?
he over here talking about Trump ain't. Didn't he say Trump what welcome in El Paso? Didn't he say that, or was that somebody else?
Wait, said what?
That Trump wasn't welcomed in El Paso.
Yeah, as if he even is El Paso anymore.
If I was president, I'd still go down there.
What the hell is this? The hood?
Huh?
He's not. What the hell is this? The hood? They're trying to strip Trump's El Paso card.
Man, look,
the fuck?
I mean, at least the president's trying to go down there and say something, because I mean, if Obama was president, oh my God, everyone would be like, "Yeah, Obama came to El Paso. Obama came. Oh, he sung Amazing Grace." But when Trump trying to come down there and show his support,
no one wants to listen to a word he says.
I mean, the reason why everybody's upset with Trump's visit to El Paso is because rather than do what presidents do when they go after a tragedy to visit victims in the hospital and keep it private, he was publishing videos, pictures everywhere of him speaking with victims, and it was kind of like, what the hell are you doing? These people just got shot in a mass shooting, and you're publicizing this.
I'm pretty sure that he asked them, could he film? And at any time,
it's not a matter of asking them. It's still disrespectful, regardless.
But at any time, I understand. But at any time, the victim could have said, "I don't want you to film me." At any time,
I'm sure they could. I'm sure they could have. But
Speaking of,
it's messed up that he took advantage of that to try and make himself look.
Why would he be taking advantage of it, and how would it be taking advantage of it?
Because right now he's not doing so well in the polls, and a lot of people
are
criticizing.
I'm talking about
what polls?
Gun reform, and he's going. I don't have any links to any specific polls, but from what I've heard, compared to the Democratic candidates, he isn't doing as well as they are in the polls.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
And he's been getting criticized for not doing anything on other than the bump stock ban on
because the media doesn't want him to be doing anything. Anything that he tries to do, he's been.
The media doesn't want him to do anything. What media? Fox News?
Listen. If you ain't reading the New York Times. And sometimes they be doing some bullshit. But them people on New York Times, they exposed Biden, they exposed a whole bunch of people. Okay, y'all gotta go read them. That's all I read is the New York Times. That's about it.
PG, could you please elaborate how is the media responsible for gun control not happening, and what media outlet are you talking about? Are you referring to?
I'm talking about some. No, I'm not the one to sit there and say, okay, I listen to Fox News like every single day. No, I listen to like a conglomerate of
as I do.
Of media. And so what I think, basically what the media does is, about maybe a year ago, was the media, like CNN, MSNBC, stuff like that, like, were they sitting there saying, okay, we need, like, extensive background checks? Were they saying that? Yes?
Yes, they were.
Okay, so after El Paso and Dayton, I saw an article on CNN, they said, Trump wants extensive background checks. Data shows that these wouldn't have stopped the Dayton or El Paso shooters. So what the fuck do they want him to do?
I mean, obviously background. Well, there's nothing wrong with CNN.
Oh my God!
You could dislike it all you want, but
CNN is hot garbage.
Whether or not you want to agree with that. However, background checks obviously would not stop every single mass shooting. They're not trying to make the case that background checks aren't necessary. I think they were just trying to emphasize the fact that it wouldn't have necessarily stopped this one. They weren't trying to say that Trump shouldn't be recommending that the Congress pass background checks. That's not what they were saying at all.
And just so the chat knows what I'm trying to say, I'm not sitting there saying I use CNN as an example. That's just something that I saw. I'm not sitting there saying, oh yeah, well CNN says this, so it's like blah blah blah. Like I'm not really trying to say that. But in any case, what my point was is that the media wants one thing, and then as soon as Trump says, okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and start pursuing red flag laws and possibly even a federal background check system, as soon as he starts to do that, the media tries to find a reason as to why he's stupid for not doing that.
Hot trash. Okay? Everybody on CNN, Don Lemon, the only people out that's the only smart people on CNN is John King and Wolf Blitzer. Okay? Everybody else on there kiss my ass because I don't like them. Look here. You want to know a proposal would work?
Yes, of course. I'm saying CNN is to blame for no gun control. I'm not. I literally didn't say any of that. Okay, come on. Why are you blaming the NRA then? Literally blaming the NRA is the same as blaming the media. If you're trashing me for blaming the media, then I don't think you should be sitting there blaming the NRA.
I think the reason why he's blaming the NRA is because the NRA funds lobbyists who literally lobby members of Congress not to propose background checks and to do everything in their power not to pass.
Do you realize that if Donald Trump called Mitch McConnell right now and told him to put that damn bill that passed the House back in February on the floor of the Senate, he would do it? Do y'all not realize that?
Tripster, we don't have a federal background check system.
He doesn't want it to pass, clearly.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, we have background checks on a state-by-state basis, but we don't have a federal background check system.
Technically we do, but the states aren't mandated to submit that information to the national system.
You know where to solve all this is everybody who's over the age of 18, who ain't got a felony, some good American, you know what I'm saying? Okay, just get a gun and get a concealed carry permit. Because if somebody in that Walmart had a gun and went boom, boom, right between the eyes, he wouldn't have killed how many people? 20? That's how you stop these shootings in our schools. Okay, I don't know about. We got police officers. Okay, they got guns. Where the fuck they at when the shooting going down? Start arming some of these teachers.
Okay? No, I don't think we should be arming teachers. I don't.
Why not?
All right. I think. Hold on. Personally, I don't think we should be requiring every teacher to be armed.
They're not requiring, by the way.
I never said you did. No, I never said you did. I know you never said that. I'm just saying I don't.
You're not going to sit here and jump down my throat, and I never said the word requirement. Now, there's
I'm not saying.
I want the 7 people that's watching this to ask to say yes or no. Did I say I will require?
I never said
to have guns. I want the chat.
All I'm saying is I don't think it should be a requirement. However, if schools want to make the decision that they want to arm teachers who voluntarily sign up to be armed, that's one thing. However, I don't think it should be a requirement.
All right, I'm gonna be adding one more person to the group. We're gonna be joined by Tripster today.
Here's the thing about the shootings in these schools. If some of these teachers know PTK, we're not giving everybody fucking.
There was shooting in Parkland. There was an armed security guard, and he didn't do anything.
See, there's a problem with people. It's people, and especially people on the left. People keep thinking, "Oh well, if we do all these gun reforms, that's going to stop mass shootings." It's not.
No, it's not going to stop them. It's not going to stop all of them. It'll reduce how often it happens, though. or could. It's not going to stop all of them. Nobody's saying that. Literally, nobody is saying that.
Okay, so listen. If people would start arming themselves, I'm not saying, okay, if you got a record,
I
you
am
don't need a
completely
gun.
pro Second Amendment. I agree.
Okay,
People should
look,
have more guns.
if you have a
Not criminals, though.
domestic violence,
Do I have to start muting people to let both of y'all talk? And by the way, just kind of go ahead and finish up your stuff so I can let Tripster make a statement.
look, people that have clean records, and I mean very squeaky fucking clean, never been to jail, no domestic violence, none of that, they need to start using the Second Amendment. Okay, I plan on using the Second Amendment. I plan on getting a firearm. I plan on having a concealed carry permit. Okay, now all these background checks, yada yada yada. Yeah, it may work, and investing in another thing, investing in mental health, but all this ain't gonna stop the shootings. Let me tell you what'll stop a shooting. If somebody who's a reasonable American had a gun.
Okay, so I'm kind of like trying to reply to Omni, and then once I'm finished talking to Omni, then I'm gonna let Tripster talk. So Omni, what I was trying to say earlier, I'm not saying the media is to blame for. I never actually said that the media is to blame for like the lack of gun control. What I was saying that they're doing, and I was literally like just trying to let them talk and stuff like that. So basically what I was trying to say is that the media doesn't know how to support the president. They don't know how, and I'm not saying they're required to support the president. So what I'm trying to say is that the media basically has this kind of narrative that they're going after, that basically whatever the president wants to kind of go after, even whenever it's going after guns, they try to at least try to find some faults in it. They don't really feel like they're and I'm not saying that like, oh yeah, well, all media is bad. All media is biased. Every single piece of media is biased. But I don't think the NRA is innocent. The NRA is pretty the NRA is pretty shitty. Obviously, they're very shitty. And I don't support the NRA. I'm not a member of the NRA. I also plan on exercising my Second Amendment right.
Yeah, he got a 22 rifle, a little pew pew.
Pew pew. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and finish up my point, and then I'm gonna let Tripster get in on this. Anyway, what my point is that everything right now is shitty, and I don't think the media is innocent, nor do I think that the NRA is innocent. The NRA is probably much worse. And if we really want to get rid of it, maybe we can just start regulating something along the lines of how people lobby. Maybe even get rid of dark money. I don't know. That's kind of like something that I haven't really thought of before. But anyway, if you have any other questions, just I'll reply to your Discord, because I mean I kind of have been, you've been sending me links, and I'm sorry I haven't been like showing them on my stream, and I need to. But anyway, I'm actually gonna go ahead and let Tripster get in on this. So Tripster, you're finally unmuted. So what do you got to say?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I have lots to say, but first things first, I want to talk about here is a lot of people talk about the mass shootings, and since it's my hometown that one of the mass shootings did take place, and I did know actually someone who knew the sister who got killed, and technically some people say that the sister is actually he, but that's another story. This entire thing is actually close to my own wheelhouse, so to speak. I come from a household that's not really pro-gun control, actually. They may be all leftist, but they actually are pro-Second Amendment for the freedom it can bring. A lot of people in this argument get lost in the emotions of it. And I understand that when people are dying, you want to blame the thing that's being used to bring all that stuff down. That does not lead to the answer. And I want people to start thinking about this in a more scientific type of way, because what we're talking about is not emotions. When people make an argument about thoughts and prayers don't solve anything. That's an emotional argument, and that's okay to make an emotional argument. But when you're talking about solving these problems, you can't just use emotion. You have to use your brain. And that's where we have to use scientific methods of reason and logic to solve these issues. Because when people talk about let's just ban these guns or ban assault guns or let's call out the NRA or the lobbying or blah blah blah, I mean the statistics on that don't make any sense. The majority of people who actually are legally licensed to conceal carry, I think the crime rate is less than that of actual cops. I think there are statistics that said 2 million people are saved each year across the world from gun ownership. And on top of that, a lot of times, the reason we do have a Second Amendment in the United States of America is that it's such a big nation that there's no way cops can respond so quickly. And here's the thing. These people, especially in Dayton, because in Dayton, the Oregon district is actually the leftist area. There's not many minorities that travel in that area. There's it's mostly white millennials. The shooter there, he was on heavy drugs at least some point in his life. He had a rape list and several other things that would, I guess you can qualify as a red flag law, would probably catch him on that if someone reported him. But here's the thing. There's tons of times where people have already been reported to the FBI and people have already sent tips to the FBI that this person may be planning this and this person may be planning that. Like I think in El Paso, the parent, the mom herself, said that my son is going to do something crazy. You guys need to watch him and stop him. They didn't take his lead. So when people talk about we need background checks, we need this or that, the last few mass shootings the government knew was happening, except for maybe Dayton. Dayton was just random. They didn't know about Dayton. But they probably should have. Anyone buying, say, like, tons of guns and then at the same time armor and then all of a sudden shoot someone, okay, that's kind of an easy way to tell when someone's going to do a shooting. But you can't just always associate these crazy people with average gun owners. That's not going to work. And when people talk about guns are the problem, they're not the problem. Americans say we have a gun violence problem. No, we have a violence problem. We have a mental illness problem. When the homeless rates are going up by, 100% in some of these areas, when the drug rate, especially in Dayton, Ohio, there's a drug epidemic in Dayton, Ohio, where you go into Kroger and you may find someone overdosed from opioids. This is ridiculous. When people talk about this is not a problem, we don't have a mental health problem, mental illness, stigma, and this and that, they are leaving out lots of logic and lots of facts in this entire argument. It just doesn't make sense. We didn't have mass shootings this often back in the 60s. We didn't have mass shootings this often back in the 50s. We just now started getting mass shootings this often in this decade. Last decade, we had like 2. So what has changed in the American public since then? Are guns all of a sudden getting minds of their own and shooting them? They're not shooting themselves. That's not what's happening. So when you look at actually solving problems, you have to look at the variables. What is the independent variable? And what is the dependent variable? Well, are guns impacting people? No. The guns themselves are just telling people to shoot themselves. It's not like we just started inventing guns that say, shoot, shoot, shoot. No, that's not what's changed. What's changed is the people. Therefore, we know that people are the independent variable. They're not being acted on by guns. Guns are being acted on by these crazy people. And we need to figure out specifically why that is. And we don't really do much. And what's funny? If you look at the history of one of the first mass shootings in the United States of America, most of them have to do with mental illness or drug use. And that's no coincidence. I mean, some of the drugs, especially a lot of the prescription drugs and non-depressants, they change people's behavior. They change people's perceptions on the road. And I'm not saying people with mental illness are going to be dangerous. I'm not saying that at all. Most of them are fine. But some of them are actually having these side effects. These side effects you see on TV when they talk about, hey, you take this pill, you may have thoughts of suicide, thoughts of anger, aggression, all these types of things happen. And if you look at Texas, you're from Texas, right, PG?
Yes.
In your own state, one of the first mass shootings in your own state was a sniper. He killed his parent. Actually, he killed his parent. I think he killed his sister.
Yeah, I remember that because I live in Dallas.
Yeah. Yeah, and he was on drugs. And the reason he was on drugs is because he had migraines. So he was taking pain medicines that had the side effect of actually killing. Or not killing, but it's more of like it changes your perception of the reality of things. Makes you more aggressive. And he didn't know it, and we didn't know it back in the day. And now the amount of people on pills, the amount of people on drugs, the amount of people doing these mind-altering thought processes and drugs is increased by a factor of 10 probably from what it used to be. And at the same time, we're seeing mass shootings occur more often. We're seeing the media talk about it more often. And every time we talk about it, we talk about guns, but never the people. It's a person problem. It's a people problem. What's going through these people's minds is what we should be caring about. Why are they pushed to kill people? Why are they pushed to do these things? It's not the guns. It's the people.
Which is why we should invest in our mental health.
Yeah, and I
And
agree with you. I agree with almost
Yeah.
everything you said, Tripster. I agree that background checks wouldn't stop everything. I mean, the FBI even investigated the Boston Marathon bomber, and he was cleared. And then he obviously went on to do terrible
The
things.
Parkland shooter
Um,
was also investigated twice and was cleared. Just that.
Yeah, exactly. I was never trying to say that background checks would stop all the problems.
It wouldn't stop
However,
a single problem.
I think that they would help a little bit if you're able to
There were background
conduct a
checks.
background investigation and find whether or
There
not
are-
a person has ever been to a mental institution or has actual signs of like severe mental illness, not just somebody who is diagnosed with like mild depression or something like that.
What
I'm sorry, continue.
There are already background checks that include for that here in Ohio specifically. In order for you to get a gun, you must file about 11 different forms. If you lie on any of these forms, you go to jail instantly. You can never ever have a gun ever again. You lose your voting rights. You would consider a felon for lying on any of the government forms that you are given. There are around several background checks that you must do. You do not get guns instantaneously. If you are found to have lied or buy a gun for someone else that is also a felony, you will go to jail. So we already have background checks. We already have strict laws here in Ohio regarding this fact,
I have a
controlling
question.
the distribution of guns, and that did not prevent the shooting in Dayton.
I have a question. So if I don't know much about the gun laws in your state. I'm not a gun owner yet, but I will be when I'm older and have my own home. However, I was wondering, would I be able to go to Ohio, go to a gun
No,
store,
no, you
purchase a
can't.
weapon and sell it to
You
you,
can't.
or
I already know
no?
what you're going. No, the answer is no.
Okay, so for
So
a
you
person to
have
person
to.
sale, you still need a background check, right?
We don't. There is no such thing as a person-to-person sell. That is not legal. There is a store,
Okay.
a licensed store owner sell, and this is the same across most states actually. That you must go to a store, be okayed in that state, and pass that background check, and then also you have to buy it at that store that you get it to, and have it shipped to your
Now-
store in your state, and you have to pass both of those background checks, and it has to be in the register, and they don't just let you take the gun the same day. I know this because one of my friend's parents actually was a cop. He retired when he got injured, and now he actually works at a gun shop. And this is the type of forms he brought in during one of my group's presentations on the college campuses. So, I mean, yeah, you can't do that. That's not legal.
Okay, I was just wondering. I wasn't trying to imply that it was legal. I was actually curious.
Yeah. And actually, I think that the Dayton shooter actually, what happened is they're finding out there's an accomplice who actually did hard drugs with him a couple of years ago. And they seem to have planned this together because he bought the armor, and I think he may have even given him the guns. So even if you were to check the dude that had mental illness, the dude that actually has a clean record could just simply buy the gun for him and then illegally transfer it to him, which is still against the law, but we wouldn't know until after. That's the
Yeah,
problem.
which is
Also, let me add
unfortunate
this.
and
Let
proves that
me
it
add
wouldn't stop
something.
everything.
In the state of North Carolina, now Tripster said there is no such thing as person-to-person sale. Well, in North Carolina, if you have to have a license to
Yeah.
sell a firearm,
Correct.
because my father purchased a rifle online and it went to this guy's house, and we went out to his house, got a big ass fucking house in the middle of bomb-fucked Egypt.
He's a licensed vendor, right?
Yeah, so
Yeah. That's not
do they
like
have that
he's
in
just like a
Ohio?
regular person.
They have that in Ohio, right?
Yeah, it's called licensed vendor sales, which is what you would go to like a gun shop to do. Or it could be a person, yeah, but like they're licensed to do it. It's not like just a random dude.
Why don't
Randomly gives you a gun.
everybody? Why don't these damn Democrats stop trying to take my goddamn guns?
I don't want to
Because-
take your guns. I
Because
want you to have all the guns you want.
it's about power and control. There's no logic to it. I mean, I don't really understand specifically where people are coming from with the gun rights issue. I mean, because specifically guns weren't a problem until, say, what, 99? And then people started thinking, oh, well, actually, I say you can say 90. No. You can say when Ronald Reagan got shot. That's when people started paying attention to crazy people with guns. Because then they actually started talking about, like, oh, the Secret Service agent that got nearly killed trying to save the president. And then they came up with the bill for it. I forgot what Brady bill? Was that what it was called?
Yeah, I think it was the Brady bill.
And then they started with the Brady bill, and then in 1994 they banned assault weapons, whatever the fuck that is, but didn't do anything actually. Found out, 10 years later, we ended it. Did we have a mass shooting in 2005 because we ended it? No. There was no mass shooting until 2007 with the Virginia Tech shooting. So, I mean, it's a difficult issue, but I just want people to realize that if you really want to solve it, it's a mental health thing. It's a person thing. It's not going to be solved by background checks because people, if you make it difficult and they don't pass background checks and they still want to kill people, there are tons of guns they can get across the rail. If they're determined enough to get the guns, they can get the guns. I think most shootings in America are actually committed by people who have illegally purchased or acquired the weapons. So what you're really targeting is people who aren't a problem. How are you solving anything with a background check when you're targeting people without a problem? And people talk about the NRA, and they talk about this and that, and lobbying this and this. The NRA is one organization, and it was founded to protect people from injustice and bigotry, the KKK, and civil rights abuses, teaching people how to use guns safely. Most of these shootings are not committed by, say, an NRA member. NRA members are actually like the most crime-abiding people in the United States of America. They have a lower crime rate than cops. So when people talk about NRA as evil, like, it may be like a biased money-making machine, sure, but evil? No, they just protect Second Amendment rights. There are multiple organizations that do the same thing. And you look at the media, they consistently attack it. You look at colleges, they consistently attack it. I mean, you look at Democrats, they have a lot more funding than Republicans do. So I don't know when people are just like, oh yeah, the NRA is way worse than the media. Like, excuse me? No. The media is owned by the same 1% of people that you guys hate all the fucking time. How in the rel do you guys get off thinking that the NRA is some evil behemoth when they're just one organization against maybe like 1,000 that control 95% of the rel's media? I don't know. I'm not defending the NRA, but just saying. Don't blame organizations for
I'm not
actions of crazy
saying that the
people.
NRA is to blame. All I'm saying is that in the past they've always opposed not necessarily proposals to ban weapons, but proposals for things like background checks. And again, I'm not trying to say that they would fix everything.
They
I
wouldn't
agree
fix
with you
anything.
that it's a mental health issue. And I'm not necessarily, I know that a lot of states, if not all, have background checks. All I'm calling for is for states to be required to submit information that they find to the national background check system so that it could actually function properly how it's supposed to.
You want a
Because
national
there is a national system
gun
right
registry?
now, but not a. I guess you could say a gun registry.
There already is one.
Well, no, but states aren't required to.
States aren't required to send information.
And that's what I
you're proposing
would
the
hope is the
Australian
case.
solution?
I'm not exactly familiar with Australian.
Well, what they did is they got a
kick everybody
national gun registry, and then within about 10 years, there's a mass shooting that took place in Australia. What was it, back like in the 80s or something like that?
Yeah.
And
90s,
then,
like
well,
98.
80s is when I think they had a gun registry for a while, probably. They did the gun buyback in the 90s, I know that. And they found that actually their crime rate did not change at all due to the gun buybacks. And they still have mass, I wouldn't say, they have bombings. They have bombings.
Well, yeah, gun buybacks I don't think are really going to change anything because the people that would be selling the guns most of the time, I assume, would be maybe gun owners who don't want their guns anymore. I mean, I don't know
it was a
how
mandatory
gun buybacks work exactly. Can you? Oh, okay, it was mandatory.
Yeah, so if you're on a gun registry, this is why I was saying you wanted a national gun registry, because you know what the government will do with that information is they're just going to go after
Well, we have the
law-abiding
Second
citizen.
Amendment. They can't do that.
Well, you're arguing to infringe the Second Amendment already. So
Well, no, I'm not. I'm just saying I want a national system so that people
And
who want to purchase
so
a
that
firearm
people can lose the
or
Second Amendment rights.
not so that people can lose their Second Amendment right.
Let me add
Okay.
this. Let me add this. I think we should have a national registry on how many on people who eat Big Macs.
Hell yeah, I
everyone-
support that shit.
So
I
everyone
never
that goes
called
to
for a
make
national gun registry. I was saying
Also, hold on.
people who are convicted of felonies in their state or have been to a mental
felons
institution
can't buy a
before.
gun.
Hold on.
They should I know, but I'm saying that information should be uploaded to a federal system.
It is.
Criminal records to
It
a
is.
national system. No, it's not. States aren't
It is.
required to submit it. States
Folks,
are not
hold
required.
on, hold on, hold on.
States are not
I'm not
required to
done.
submit it.
I'm not
Hold on.
done.
Hang on. One at a time.
I'm
One
just
at a
saying
time.
they
One
should
at a
be
time.
required to- I was still talking, but whatever. Go.
Okay.
Okay.
Resist. Go ahead. Then Tripster. Then Baxstar.
I'm just saying states should be required to submit criminal records to the national system so that if you're convicted of a felony in, say, New York, you can't just go to like Texas or somewhere with less strict gun laws, purchase a firearm, and bring it back to New York.
You can't do that. You can only buy guns in the state that you're legally a resident of.
Yeah, the thing is, I've heard that argument before. I forgot who I had that conversation with. Basically, are you saying that if you're convicted with a felony?
Yes, convicted of a felony.
So you're breaking like probably 3 different laws whenever you do that. So if you're on probation, you're crossing county line.
We had this discussion the other day.
Okay, yeah, it was you.
Just because you're a convicted felon does not mean that you're currently on probation.
If you're a convicted felon, you lose all your rights regardless of whether or not it's at the state level or not. It's federal too.
See, that's what I was trying to have. That's what I was trying to figure out whenever I was talking to Resist about it. Is like whenever you're convicted with a felony, is that a state thing or is that federally?
Charge. It could be a state felony. You could get charged with a federal felony and a state felony.
A state felony means that you lose your rights as a citizen within that state. And therefore, it goes on to other states too when you buy a gun and you do a background check. If you find out that you don't live in that state, you will be denied trying to buy that gun.
Yeah.
Because you're not supposed to be able to buy a gun in a state that you're not a resident in.
So you're obviously going to be doing illegal stuff. You're going to be like, because they're going to look at your ID. They're going to say, okay, so me, I have like a felony on my hands. So I go to Oklahoma,
PG.
go in, buy a gun.
Hold on, PG.
What?
Hold on. Your ass. Every time I got a felony. What the hell you do? Spit chewing gum on the sidewalk?
Anyway, what my point is that I have a felony, and so I'm gonna go in and go to Oklahoma, and I'm gonna try to buy a gun. They're gonna see that I have a Texas ID. So if I want to avoid that, because they're probably I think they would like check like the Texas registry or something like that, like because I mean they still have it. They still do background checks on you. So you're basically gonna look at it. So if I wanted to avoid that mess, then I would have to go in, make a fake ID. That's one law that I'm breaking. I'm also leaving the state while being a convicted felon. That's another law. If I'm on probation,
breaking the law.
if I'm on probation, like, and I leave the state or even the county, that's another law.
Or you can just leave the damn country and go somewhere where they don't have an extradition treaty.
PG stole stunting from a gas station.
Can we? Okay, hold on. Okay.
Anyway, it's like it's not that easy that you can make it, because whenever you kind of put it like that, it makes it sound like it's the easiest thing in the world when it's actually not, and you're breaking about probably 6 different laws while trying to do that.
You know, it's kind of interesting, though. People keep talking about the background checks. I just kind of want to know, what is a background check going to do when someone wants to kill someone? I mean,
Yeah, that's another thing.
there's multiple ways to do it. Say they don't get a gun, so then they get a bomb. Then they blow up the building. Or say they can't get a gun, but there's no background checks on flamethrowers, so they can buy one from Boring Company. And they burn everybody with a flamethrower. And yeah, I realized someone said something about, you can buy a flamethrower. I didn't realize that you can buy a flamethrower without background checks. I'm like, wait a minute.
Ooh, I'm gonna go.
And someone said something about a flamethrower. I was like, who the fuck was thinking about this? Because now that's a problem. Like, I don't know if you have background checks on flamethrowers, but we probably need a flamethrower registry now. Because what's next? We ban all guns and then someone moves on to a flamethrower? That would be worse, maybe.
Man, look.
Like I've said before, I'm not trying to say background checks are going to stop everything. I agree with you. If someone wants to kill someone, they're going to kill someone. And I don't want the government to take everyone's guns. I never said that. I think people should be allowed to own as many guns as they want. My position is that I think if you're convicted of a felony, you shouldn't be able to own a firearm, which I know is the case in most states. I just think in some states there are also minimal background checks. I know somebody who went to a state and went to a gun shop. I don't know what state it was. He claims that when he got the firearm, he didn't have to go through any procedure. He went in, he got the gun, and he came back the same day.
Okay. He didn't go through a background check?
That's what he claims.
A gun show?
Okay, and I also think there should be.
I don't know if it was a store or gun show.
I have someone that I work with that is like hugely into guns, and he basically, and I asked him about it. Basically, what he said about the gun show loophole, that it does exist. It basically, you can go into a gun show. They don't background check you. Just kind of depends on who you buy from, I guess. But it's the easiest way to get a gun is to go to a gun show.
Okay. And has anyone gotten a gun from a gun show and then did a mass shooting? Is the next question.
I don't know.
No.
I thought there was at least like once where it happened.
Do you have a source that says that it hasn't happened? I mean, I'm not saying that it has happened.
That's kind of counterintuitive to ask that, honestly, because it's just a simple Google search.
Yeah.
Shut up.
I'm just like, I mean, you can prove your own argument. I mean, if gun show loophole is such a problem, then easily you can find a mass shooting with a gun show loophole existing.
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay,
were you saying something?
How many people in here use Sharpies?
Sharpies?
Yeah. We're talking about guns and shit, and you're coming in here talking about Sharpies. Jesus Christ.
Okay, look, you can take a Sharpie and jam it in somebody's eyeball and kill them, right?
Yes.
So we gonna ban Sharpies?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, we already really banned Tide Pods, so
I have a whole box of Sharpies. That I use Sharpies when I sign my paperwork. You know what I'm saying?
No, you use crowns, boy. What are you talking about? You get the crowns on there.
Listen. And I think that another thing is we should have a federal registry of people that have Sharpies. Okay, because folks,
National Sharpie ban.
Look.
Shut up. Control.
Also, listen.
Put some control in this fucking cat.
Sunday, WWE hosted SummerSlam. Do you not know you could kill somebody by wrestling? Are we going to have a national wrestling registry?
Can we get a national bike control? Like, what if one of the bikes run me over?
So, look.
Gun control is racist. That's what Jake says.
It usually is, because it usually applies to like metropolitan areas where like it's much minorities, mostly, rather than country states, because country states tend to protect the civil rights of their people when it comes to guns. Cities like Chicago, they police people, and if you have a gun, it's always used to like stop and frisk them and investigate their cars and all types of things. And if you have a gun in your car, even if it's like you're a concealed carry guy and a cop is scared of you, they'll just point a gun at you even if you tell them, oh, I have a gun. Bullshit like that. It's just...
Man, get the hell out of here.
I saw a video.
There's people in Chicago are idiots.
Oh, not just Chicago. I'm saying like just nationwide. Usually it's like cops get all trigger happy because of people with concealed carry it usually always goes bad for people like maybe black people with guns who have like the legal right to carry. It's always a problem. And gun control, I think, is kind of racist because then what? You take your people's away to the ability to defend themselves, and it leaves the criminals as the only ones with guns. And the cops don't care about you, so they don't come around quick enough. What are you supposed to do? Just die? They break into your house?
What, you gonna throw a damn rock at them?
I mean, the white people, they live in like gated communities and mansions in Chicago. Like, they're not in threat. The black people in South Side have nothing, and they die by thousands each year. So
what you gonna do? Throw a rock at somebody? Hey, Resist, are you there?
Yes.
So somebody breaking your house, what you gonna do?
No, like I've said, I'm pro Second Amendment, and I currently don't own firearms right now, but I will in the future when I have my own home. If somebody breaks into my house, I will own a firearm and I will use it to defend my house.
And you will go, boom, boom, right through the head. Boom,
yes, and
boom.
I would legally be able to purchase a firearm because I don't have any.
And then when the police come, say he was harming me, my life was threatened. Get him out of here.
Oh yeah, this is kind of off topic, but this is kind of going on to what we were talking about earlier this stream. Yeah, with the economy, it says Germany is actually closer to a recession right now. Their GDP shrank by 0.1%.
Well, Germany is in recession. I mean, they've been at 0% GDP for this year. I thought about writing an article, but I was not so certain because I was not sure about what the European Central Bank would do, because they were talking about ending. I mean, I think I touched on it in my article that I sent you about how the money is getting more tight across the world because Japan is ending its liquidity program, along with the EU already ending its liquidity program in September of 2018. And if you combine those two factors, and with the Federal Reserve raising rates about 175% since Trump came in office, it's no shock that the world economy is feeling some type of fiscal crunch right now in terms of borrowing, because borrowing just got 10 times more expensive. And you also have the tariffs, which are impacting major corporations. So that's a good 25% of every single company, every single major country's GDP right there being affected. And then there's also China, which is practically in recession. They lost jobs last year. They lost jobs probably this year. And they have 1 billion people. So if you can't even get more jobs with 1 billion people, and you lost them like several 100,000 while we gained a couple million, yeah, we're going to have some economic problems.
Anyone going to respond?
Yeah, I think I lost everybody when I said stuff.
I think China can kiss my ass.
I agree with you on that, Baxstar.
I ain't scared of China.
I would like a more well thought out trade policy with China, because we're doing it one-on-one, but our allies are still co-opted by China. So that's not going to be very effective.
Just so y'all know, someone else is joining us right now, and that's Jake.
Who is Jake?
How's it going, dude?
Is it Jake from State Farm?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right here. I've actually spoke to Baxstar before, but I mean, other than that, yeah.
Now, I also think that McDonald's, if they want to open their restaurants in China, they're going to pay a tax. If Apple wants to send their computers to China, they're going to pay a tax. Make America, fix America's shattered economy is what my slogan is.
Yes.
We need to fix America's shattered economy because this has got to end.
I mean, fuck China, but I mean, I don't know if that's gonna. Well, I mean, you could make them pay the tax, but then China could just subsidize them. They already do kind of do that. So, I don't know. But I was thinking more along the lines of we have to really make it tough on China. I'm talking about maybe zero trade with China, and putting a lot of pressure on our own corporations that are located here to actually work with us, not against us. And Maj Tour is pretty awesome. I know him, Jake. I follow him on Instagram. But what was I about to say? Oh yeah, China is kind of fucked. We need to really up the ante on the pressure. I'm thinking we need to really do a bunch of free trade deals with, say, India and Africa, so that we can actually move our manufacturing from China to these nations in these countries, away from China. We'll get closer to Japan, get closer to Europe, and make them pick us or China. And we're richer than China. So if they pick China, well, they're fucking stupid. Likewise, you want to make it so that our corporations are incentivized to stay within our own trade bloc and kind of have a Cold War type setting with China. You want to up the ante so that the Chinese economy collapses, and so that then that collapse makes people upset in their own nation and breaks down that evil government. I sound like, what's his name, Kissinger?
But then wouldn't
whatever.
that bring like a kind of messy situation, kind of like how we have in the Middle East?
No, that's
If
stupid.
there's
Why
like
would you
civil war in
compare?
such a big country?
Why would there be a civil war? Are you stupid?
Well, no, I thought that's what you were trying to say, because you were
Why would
trying to
a
say
civil
that
war?
the people, so that no, I thought that's what you were trying to imply, because you were saying that we would mess with their economy so bad that their people would get angry at them
and overthrow the government, like Yugoslavia, or say maybe USSR or Poland, preferably Poland.
Fucking Poland.
Remember, it was the economic stagnation of the USSR and the Soviet bloc that led to the end of communism in Eastern Europe. And if China falls, that puts pressure on Iran, that puts pressure on Russia. It destroys North Korea. Venezuela.
This is like power.
Yeah, that would destroy North Korea.
Well, power revolution is used by the U.S. government to. I wonder if Barack Obama used like GPS 2 to see how he should address like the Middle East situation, and it's all backfired. He's like, "Oh, I can withdraw troops, and nothing ever happens."
That's literally what happens. I mean, technically, in a.
I have an announcement from our sponsor. This live stream is sponsored by World of Warships.
What the fuck? I wish.
I'm playing World of Warships right now as their Tripits. The Turpits.
Fucking idiot.
And
I wish someone was sponsoring me. Shit. I mean, I might be getting sponsored by RT soon.
Nigga, I keep.
Hey,
nothing. Talking about I'm gonna get sponsored by RT. You listen to a damn Russian. Didn't they try to hack you?
Hey, that was some Russian emailer trying to get my login information posted on YouTube.
You finna get finessed.
Oh, fucking envy.
Oh my god.
Whose phone is going off?
Who has a home phone is a better question.
Well, someone muted me quickly.
Someone has a home phone.
From third world country.
Right? And Chip's in college. And he's still in college. Chips, are you still in college?
Leave a message at your tone.
I just want to say, I do agree with Tripster that we should be increasing our economic relations with countries in Africa and stuff to combat China.
Is this on mute or can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
How can you hear me?
I don't know. Use deafen. So, what's y'all's opinion on the 2020 polls coming out?
Fuck them. They all wrong.
What does the polls say?
We have a new poll that shows Biden ahead 3 points. And then it's he's followed by Warren at 20 points, Sanders at 16, and then Harris at 8. And Buttigieg at 6.
I think Buttigieg honestly needs to drop out. Cause he is no. Who the fuck finna vote for him? He doesn't have experience.
Buttigieg?
Yeah.
You were for Buttigieg for the entire beginning of the year.
Yeah.
The only thing stopping people for voting for Democrats is the gun control. There's a lot of independents that would vote for Democrats if it wasn't worth them being so pro-gun control.
You gotta understand, I was a member of the Democratic Party since 2017. But you look at the Democrats. We want to take your guns away. We want to open the borders. Man, fuck that. I ain't for that shit, man. That's stupid.
So y'all think video games cause violence?
Yes.
no.
I'm just
Fuck no.
kidding. No.
Because
Playing
obviously
solid
that's
video
what's
game
happening
right
whenever I'm
now.
trying to fix America's shattered economy.
Fuck.
Yeah, you just want to shoot up the fucking Walmart after you play Power and Revolution.
Yes.
Hey, FBI agent, it's just a joke. So learn the fucking joke around, FBI.
Call it.
Fuck.
Yeah. NSA. It's fine. It's fine. Fine. Don't. No.
Oh, was I muted the entire time?
Yes, you were.
Yes.
Oh, god damn it.
Dude, I do that
Oh my
all the
god,
time.
this battle.
I said Elizabeth
torpedoes.
Warren was going to be the nominee, and I didn't give a fuck about the polls,
no.
and that Biden was senile,
Turn.
and I think that Buttigieg has terrible experience. But
Warren is just
apparently,
weird.
No
Warren is
experience.
weird.
Warren
Warren is
is-
so fucking weird. She's
Warren-
just trying to appeal to the black vote. It's funny.
what?
That's all she does. Like she's like, yeah, and like she'll just shout out at somebody whenever
Are
they
you
say
just mad
something.
she doesn't like white men?
No, she doesn't. She likes white men. I think she's even married to a white man.
No.
reminds
Haven't
me
you?
of,
You remember that beer incident? Come on, man. Are they actually really married? I don't think so. Thank you for being here, husband.
Boom! I destroyed up. Oh, sorry.
That reminds me of Hillary Clinton's hot sauce moment, and what was it, 2015 or 16?
What? What does?
What I think it was what you or Jake were saying before about Elizabeth Warren trying to appeal to the black.
I don't think
No.
she's trying to appeal to black people because she's not going to get them. But,
No, the black people voting for Joe Biden.
which is stupid.
Yeah.
Joe Biden is like done
Yeah.
absolutely nothing for us, and he's quite racist.
He's
but
just did
that's
the,
besides-
he supported the crime bill in 1994.
No, he didn't just
that
support it.
banned
Apparently, he
assassins.
wrote it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
but you know that didn't stop
Obama's
us from voting for
cringe.
Hillary Clinton, did it? So whatever. Or Barack Obama, for that matter.
Hillary clitoris.
Hillary
What?
Clinton is Hillary. Hillary Clinton should probably run again. She'd probably become.
Oh my god, dude! No, the polls would. I know I was talking about the polls before, but like the polls would actually have Hillary at 100%, and she would like literally lose every state.
Well, no.
She was such a terrible candidate. Not every single state. But...
She's better than all the other candidates Democrats have right now. So I don't know. About
I don't know. I feel like.
What do you
I don't
mean
know.
you don't
She's-
know?
she's
It's not
kinda
even a
shady.
contest. They're losing to a senile old man who doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about all the damn time. Like, Biden is by no means smarter than Hillary Clinton.
No, I don't. I hate Biden. Biden's garbage. He should drop out immediately.
But he's the leading nominee. So he's the leading nominee right now, and all the other candidates are below him at around 2 to 6%. Doesn't that mean Hillary is better than Biden? And therefore, Biden is the worst candidate.
I guess you could say it like that. I just personally, man, I don't really like Hillary.
I don't like her
she
either, but
seems like a
she's
very
better than.
shady
Why
character.
can't the Republicans have another candidate? Trump is horrible for gun rights. Fuck. And I don't like Bill Weld either.
Bill Weld is also tough on guns, but
Yeah, it's cringe.
the
Like,
reason
that's why I hate both parties. Are fucking horrible. And same with economics. Like Trump loves tariffing.
I
will agree with
I
you
can
on
discuss
that.
with you on this maybe like after this call. I'll talk about the tariffs because I'm an economics major and I'm an economics TA, but that's another story for another day.
Hey, guess what? I'm an accountant major.
I'm a
so
Chicago.
get taxes done.
What
Call
school
me.
of thought do you agree with the most?
What school of what thought?
Yeah.
I used to be primarily Austrian, but now I have my own school of thought. I just go with free thinking. I don't give a fuck what the school of thought says. I used to be Austrian. I have Austrian principles, but other than that,
I'm definitely for the Chicago school.
Chicago school is stupid.
No, they're fucking based, okay?
Based
They have a
at-
heavy emphasis
based
that like
at-
you
based
need
at
like a
getting
central
major
bank.
corporations money. Yeah.
No, they're against subsidies.
No,
and
no.
corporate welfare.
Their policies are going to be supporting free. That I'll talk to you later about
Okay.
that.
In the meantime, I'm about to destroy your aircraft carrier.
Cool.
Cool.
Playing Power and Revolution.
No. You dang
Powers in Revolution.
I
Wait,
haven't
is
played
Google
that in a
Hangouts?
while.
I haven't played it in a while either, but it's still the best game out there, unfortunately.
Oh, come on!
I haven't
Don't
played
turn.
it in over a year.
Yeah, I've literally been ignoring a lot of that, like, and I hate doing it, but I need to continue my USA series because I haven't done anything with it for
Your
like a
entire
month.
channel is just like playing Powers and Revolution, bro. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, I
Darn.
know. Fuck you.
The only reason you made it to 2.3K was because of that gray guy that started doing Power and Revolution.
Oh yeah.
guy.
He still plays, dude. His
I'm
videos
just
are
joking.
so
270,
silly.
270, 270.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
270.
Me versus Trump. Do it right now.
Wait, remember? You remember the guy?
Who? The
I didn't
270?
read the comments. real
The
quick.
guy, yeah, the guy that was like 270, 270.
Yes. All right.
Pretty epic.
I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up this live stream. So I'm gonna mute myself and I'll be back in a call in a minute.
No
Wow.
kickers.
And then I have
no
a job
kickers.
interview, but I have no clue how this is gonna go.
All right, guys. If you guys like this live stream, go ahead and leave a like. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, and if you want to see more, go ahead and let me know. And in any case, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.